Housing and economic development are critical to Whitewater's future. So today, we'll be addressing additional misconceptions about TIF that have come up since community discussions began. Here are the top 4 myths we've seen surrounding TIF usage in Whitewater. Myth number 1 is that TIF was only meant for businesses. While the state of Wisconsin doesn't have dedicated housing TIFs, state law allows newly platted residential development to make up to 35% of a mixed-use TIF district. Whitewater is using TIF to cover the costs of critical infrastructure, like roads, water, and sewer, things that make housing development possible in the first place. Without TIF, the city would have to borrow upfront for these infrastructure improvements with no guarantee of development to repay the costs. Instead, with TIF, developers pay upfront for infrastructure, and the city only reimburses them if the project generates new tax revenue. That means there's a strong incentive to make these projects successful, and it also means that taxpayers take on no financial risk. Myth number 2 is that TIF takes money away from schools and city services. Our schools receive full per-pupil funding under Wisconsin's formula, and referendum-approved levies apply equally to all properties, including those in TIF districts. Most of Whitewater's essential city services, like utilities, state-shared revenue, garbage collection, recycling, parks, and court fines, are all fully funded by dedicated fees or state aid. TIF properties pay these costs just like everyone else. These services make up the bulk of the city's budget, and TIF has no impact on them. However, some services, like police, fire, and road maintenance, are partially funded by the general levy. That means TIF developments can increase demand on these services without directly contributing to their costs until the TIF district closes. But let's put that into perspective. Whitewater has had 5 active TID districts over a 10-year period, and the total city tax levy only increased by 0.76%. Adding a few new streets to plow or an additional patrol zone doesn't create a major financial burden. And once a TIF district closes, all new tax revenue is fully added to the city's general budget, strengthening long-term funding for these services. Myth number 3 is that housing developments using TIF have no return on investment for taxpayers. Without new housing, the tax burden shifts more heavily onto existing property owners. When growth stalls, so does revenue, leaving current taxpayers to shoulder a greater share of city costs as time goes on. TIF-supported projects don't just build homes, they expand the tax base and increase local spending. More residents means more revenue for businesses, more customers for local stores, and a stronger, more stimulated economy. Myth number 4 is that the city is pushing a development agenda. Whitewater is making data-driven decisions based on independent research and expert analysis, not politics or ideology. Economic development and housing experts from groups like Thrive Economic Development, Walworth County Economic Development Alliance, and UW-Madison are providing fact-based assessments to guide city policy. Ignoring our housing shortages and economic stagnation by doing nothing would be irresponsible. Whitewater is not pushing anything. We're responding to real problems with proven solutions to benefit our taxpayers, businesses, and the entire community. TIF is a tool that allows Whitewater to grow responsibly, without shifting the financial burden onto current taxpayers. By investing in smart development, we're building a stronger, more affordable, and more sustainable future for everyone. To learn more, visit the city website at www.whitewater-wi.gov. By tackling the housing issues of today, we're building a stronger Whitewater for tomorrow. Thank you for watching.